Hey guys, it's Katie here. I'm glad, I think Ellen and Janelle are live, and then Lori and Jen are coming shortly. So for those of you that are new, normally we have about 5 people or more here on the couches in the living room, and I present live on the screen, and it's just like a live stream in person. So when Jen and Lori get here, I will stand up and face them. But until they get here, they told us to start without them. So we're going to start without them, and it's going to be great. So this is a class on cooking with essential oils, and we're going to have a special holiday edition with menus with it. If you can't see the screen, please let me know. Anyway, so there are so many diverse uses for essential oils, and they can do things like relax our emotions, repel insects, beautify our skin and hair, but they also can be used for cooking, which not many people knew or think about. But if you think about it, when we use lemon zest, that's using essential oil. So why do we cook with essential oils? Well, you might be wondering, why do we do that? And there are 4 main reasons. 1, it adds flavor. 2, there's internal benefits that are amazing when it comes to essential oils. 3, they are a safe, natural ingredient. Not everything out there in the world is safe. Not everything out there in the world is used without pesticides and is organic and good for you. We've all been there. And then convenience. And I kind of want to break these down a bit, go into these 4 things. Also, if you are on live, there's normally a delay with the comments. So I will look at the YouTube again at the end of the presentation to make sure that I don't miss any of your comments, because sometimes they don't come in until the very end. So if you do a comment and I don't answer right away, I will answer you at the end. Don't worry. So when it comes to adding flavor, so basically essential oils, they are potent, they are natural, and they are powerful. So unlike other ingredients, right, you have to cut up a whole half a cup of cilantro. When you're using cilantro oil, you only need 1 drop. Sometimes you don't even need a drop. You just stick a little toothpick in the bottle and put it in the thing. So essential oils aren't just things that smell good. They have amazing benefits and really powerful flavor, right? I love having lemon in my water. Jen is here. Hello. When you sit down, I'll stand up and face you. You told me to start, so I'll start it. You told me to start, so I started. Yeah, but when you sit down, I'll get up and face you. Okay, Jen's gonna do that. So, and then the second thing is internal benefits. I already said this, but the internal use of essential oils is one of the most powerful ways and also popular ways to get the benefits of essential oils, right? So if you think about it, there's a really good On Guard granola recipe. And a great example of internal benefits when we're cooking is when On Guard is a well-known immune-boosting essential oil and a viral killing essential oil. There's a great PubMed study on that. You can look it up. So when we're adding On Guard into the food, not only are we getting a nice cinnamon orange taste that's awesome, that flavor, we're getting the internal benefits of the essential oil, that immune boosting, inflammation support, and virus/germ yucky killing effects that On Guard has. So it's a great way to not just have great tasting food, but also support our bodies, right? And there are other essential oils that have properties like antioxidants, that offer digestive support, that help with cleansing, like lemon. There are a lot of different benefits, and this is a yummy way to get those benefits into our body, right? And then 4th is that the ingredients, or no, 3rd, I can count. So 3rd is that the ingredients are safe and they're natural, right? So essential oils can easily be used as a substitute for dry herbs, citrus zest, and seasonings during the cooking process. And what's great is when you're getting them from doTERRA, you know that 1, it's a natural source, right? Lemon is from the lemon peel, lime from a lime peel, right? Cilantro from cilantro. But those ingredients are without pesticides, they are organic, and they're rigorously tested, right? doTERRA has very strict quality standards when it comes to harvesting and processing essential oils, and they have a very rigorous testing process, right? There's some people ask, why aren't doTERRA's oils labeled organic? And what organic is different in different countries. So what doTERRA did was they looked at that standard and they set the bar even higher with certified pure tested grade, right? That standard is an even more rigorous standard than the highest standard of organic in other countries, right? So they wanted to set the bar as high as they could and ensure that what we're getting doesn't have contaminants or any harmful substances. So we know that when we're using cilantro oil, it was one, cilantro oil that has superior quality, right? The quality of a plant is very dependent on the environment it's in, right? The tomato that you get from Walmart is not going to be the same tomato that you get from Greece that was organically grown and in the environment of Greece. They taste like they're injected with sugar. They're not, right? So we know that one, the herb is superior quality and that it is free of any contaminants, any pesticides, and any synthetics. And it has therapeutic properties. So that's super cool. And then the fourth thing in why we use them in cooking is convenience, right? So I think we've all had a moment where we go to the grocery store and we have our list and we forget to put one thing on the list, right? You forgot to put lemons on the list and you're out of lemons, right? And you're out of clove, right? Or the shelf life doesn't last as long, right? Lemons will only last so long when they're fresh. Grapefruit only lasts so long when it's fresh. Fresh cilantro, right? They only last so long. And this is where essential oils can come in handy, right? We have that bottle of lemon oil and that's going to last for like 3 or 5 years. Got to look that up. But I know it's at least 3, but I think it goes up to 5, right? Those essential oils have a very long shelf life. So, and they're just as good as the fresh ingredients. And if not, they have even better therapeutic qualities than what you'll find out at the traditional grocery store in the United States. And there are sometimes issues with seasonal items, like certain ingredients you can only get seasonally, while we can get our essential oils year round, which is awesome. And let's not forget the last thing of convenience, which is the price, right? Essential oils are much more cost effective in the long run than herbs. I think I'm not the only one that's like, you wanted to use cilantro or some kind of fresh herb in a recipe, and you go to the store and the fresh stuff is like $2 to $3 a box for like basil that is as much as my hand, and that's super expensive. Versus when you're getting a bottle of cilantro or a bottle of basil, you don't even have to use a whole drop. You can even use a toothpick for the equivalent amount of basil that was in that recipe, and it's a lot cheaper, right? I think basil is 15, so it's in that range, and that's 254 drops, right? A really good price comparison is the fact that peppermint, it takes 16 cups of peppermint tea to make 1 drop of peppermint oil, right? And a bottle of that has 254 drops and is $25. To get the same amount in tea is $1,000 to $2,000, depending on how fancy you want to buy your tea at. I did the math because I was very fascinated. And the similar thing comes in with herbs, right? So you actually can save yourself a lot of money in the long run, which is super cool. So next we're going to go to is cooking with essential oils safe? And yes, it is if you're using trusted, certified, pure, tested grade essential oils, right? So historically, there's already been use of essential oils. You can go back and find people that were using the lemon peel and basil and the peel of the lime, or like the zest, right? Zest is essential oil. What do you want?
Oh, I kicked Molly out.
What do you want, Sam? Oh, he could go out if he wants, right? So we've already been using this. And then essential oils, like I was saying, a lot of that is a part of our daily life, right? Because essential oils are the aromatic compounds that are in these plants that give them their aroma and some beneficial therapeutic properties, right? The cilantro oil is in the leaves of cilantro. We get lime from the rind of a lemon. And a lot of these things we already have in our diet, but at really low amounts, right? Oh, very minimal amounts. So when we're using them, we're already using them a part of our diet. It's just now they're in a pretty little bottle. And the most important thing on this list is that you need to be using high quality, well-tested essential oils, right? Not all essential oils are made equally, right? Not all essential oils are the same. 90% of what's on the market is adulterated. It has contaminants, it has synthetics, it has harmful substances that you would not want to put in your body, right? If you go to Walmart and if you go to Target, you'll see essential oil bottles in the back. It'll be like flammable, do not ingest, right? That's a good indication that it's not good, right? And doTERRA has very rigid testing qualities. So we know that when we're getting an essential oil, it is 100% pure. It has been tested and the test results are public. At the bottom of each essential oil, there is a code that you can put in source2.com and it'll give you third-party testing results, right? Hi, Steely. Hi, what do you want? My dog wants attention. So if you're using an essential oil when cooking, it is absolutely safe as long as it is, well, I like to say doTERRA because nobody reaches the quality of doTERRA. And University of Mississippi study even showed that in a recent lavender study. But even when you have well-tested and high quality, 100% pure, no contaminant essential oils, there are certain essential oils that we don't use internally. And it's just because everything that we use in our daily life, if you reach a certain concentration, the body will reject it, right? You eat an apple a day, but if you ate like 5,000 apples in one day, your body wouldn't do well. And so there are certain essential oils like arborvitae, cedarwood, cypress, Douglas fir, eucalyptus, spikenard, white fir, and wintergreen that they can be taken internally, but it has to be very, very minimal amounts because their threshold of when it turns from therapeutic to non-therapeutic is lower. So they typically say just don't use it at all. But there are people that have like mast cell activation syndrome that take small amounts of eucalyptus in a general blend. And too, like the On Guard blend has eucalyptus in it, but it has it at the right amount that works best for our body. So it's kind of a liability thing if you don't understand the percentage, but all the other ones are good. So things to remember when it comes to cooking with essential oils are keep in mind about how you're using essential oils when it comes to heat, the cookware that you're using, and how you're measuring the essential oil, right? So when it comes to cooking with heat, some people believe that heat can destroy the therapeutic properties of the oils. I'm giving some more research to this. There isn't as much backing to that, especially because some of these oils are steam distilled. But the really big issue is that the essential oils, when they're exposed to high heat, will evaporate, right? Because essential oils are aromatic compounds, right? They can evaporate very easily. So we want to make sure that when we are using them with heat, if it's possible, that we use the essential oils at the end of the cooking process. So when you're making a sauce, after you take that sauce off of the heat, you add it in. Now, that's not to say that you can't use it. There are some recipes that it's not possible to add the essential oil at the end. Like when we bake, sometimes we have to simmer, steam things. And so when it's not possible to add the essential oil near the end, it's just recommended that you put in a little more essential oil in the recipe because some of that is going to get evaporated out. So, and then, so the next thing, the next thing is cookware. So we want to avoid using plastic cookware because some essential oils can potentially ruin certain kinds of plastic. And that is no hit to the essential oil. That's more a hit to how crappy plastic is for not just us, but the planet, right? So we want to use glass, ceramics, and stainless steel. And if you're wondering what essential oil those are, it's the citruses. So when it comes to citrus oils, they can cause an etching of plastic. They are great for our bodies. Our bodies internally, they're cleansing. Our skin loves it. Essential oils are great for us, and they do great for glass, ceramics, stainless steel, but they're not the best to use with plastic or styrofoam. That's a funny story. if you want a fun science experiment, you can try it out. But it's also good to know that those products, right, plastic and styrofoam, aren't good to use anyway. Stan, what do you want? I apologize for my dog, but he is cute. Okay, and then last is measurement. So sometimes the trickiest thing when we're getting into cooking with essential oils, especially if we're new, I'm going to let him out.
He doesn't want to get out, right?
It's because I don't let him out. If I don't let him out, he doesn't like to go out. He's very weird. Go get it. Go get it. It's a mom thing. He's a mom's boy, and at night he won't go out unless I go out with him. Sorry. Okay. So when we're new to using essential oils while we cook, it can be a little confusing how much oil we use because this is a whole new ball game, and these are really powerful, right? They're potent essential oils. So when you're using essential oils, when it comes to measurement, the amount of oil you use is going to be dependent on what kind of food you're making. Which oils you're using, how many you're serving in the meal, and other things like your own taste preferences. And it's probably not the answer you wanted. You probably wanted a straightforward answer. That's not how life works. But there are really easy ways to figure out what you need and like a general range. So because of the variability, right, you're going to want to experiment and trial with essential oils. Right, so the amount of oil you add to a food is going to vary from recipe, and it helps one to use essential oil recipes that are already made. There's a really good cookbook that I like to show off in this class, and I'll show you later. There's essential oil recipes on doTERRA, so you can get a good feel for what's normally recommended. And then it's always good to start with, as it says on the screen, the toothpick method. Right, and taste. So what the toothpick method is just like what the gal is doing there. You stick a toothpaste in the regulator of an oil bottle, and then you stick it in the actual recipe and swirl it around. And then you taste test it. So until you get a feel, it's really good to start with that toothpick method, especially with the really potent essential oils, right? So basil, cassia, you're probably getting the trend. A lot of it is the herbs, right? A lot of the herbs are the most potent essential oils. The herbs and the spices are very, very potent. So when it comes to those, we like to use the toothpick method, especially in sauces and marinades, right? So basil, cassia, cinnamon, clove, cumin, oregano, and thyme, you definitely want to use the toothpick method. And some recipes only have 2 toothpicks in it. When it comes to citruses, we tend to use drops over the toothpick method. But again, you're going to want to taste test, right? Add some and taste test. And then whenever we're baking an oil, we typically add a little bit more because of the heat process. And 2, when you're baking, you normally have a lot bigger of a batch, right? So when we make gingerbread cookies, which is what we have here that I made for this class, right? That's when we use 2 drops of clove. And we used 1 drop of cinnamon rather than the toothpick method. So when it comes to your flavor guide for cooking with essential oils, right, what are good ways to use essential oils and what are they good to go in? Citruses are great for beverages. 1, because they're cleansing, but I put in citruses in my drinks all the time. They're great in baked goods. Lemon muffins are delicious. I mean, wild orange cookies. There's just so many options. Yogurt, right? Whenever you see the Greek yogurt with lime, you can make your own Greek yogurt with lime or lemon or wild orange, right? Grapefruit. So many options. Dips, salsas. Jen makes great salsa, by the way. I don't know if she's in the camera view anymore, but she is here and eating and listening. She can see the screen. And then zests. Spices are really, really good for vegetables, dishes, meat marinades, and then like sweet and savory dishes. So that's like desserts, or maybe if you're doing kind of a meat that is more like has a sweet, like if you're doing a barbecue type rub or sauce, baked goods. Spices are amazing for baked goods, especially when it comes to the gingerbread cookies, pumpkin pie, anything pumpkin does very well with spices, especially clove, cinnamon, or cassia. Those are top spices to use when it comes to pumpkin. Herbs are used in so many things, more things than are on the PowerPoint slide, actually. So they're great, as you can probably think of, in Italian dishes, right? We all had pasta sauce and, you know, the cream sauce, and I love Italian dishes with real essential oils in them. Meat marinades, they do so great with. Actually, deli sandwiches, they do really good. Soups, breads. Oh yeah, breads are really good with those. Potatoes, right? Everybody likes potatoes with a little bit of rosemary in it, except now it's essential oil rosemary that has super great properties, and you can put it in near the end so you're getting a lot of those good properties and not a bunch is evaporating off. Pastas, you can substitute for dry herbs. It's not listed on here, but I do it super frequently. I love salad dressings, right? Citruses, herbs, spices, mints all go super well in salad dressings, depending on what kind you're going to use, or gravy type sauces. Like that might not be the right word, but you get what I'm going at. And then florals, not many people think of florals when it comes to cooking or ingesting things, but florals are great for desserts, for teas, for baked goods, and they can often soften a citrus flavor, but I especially love them in teas. Like Madagascar vanilla is my favorite thing in tea. Now, not everybody is a floral person, right? My mom loves lavender tea. She drinks lavender tea every night before she goes to bed. I can't stand the taste of lavender. It does not go well with me, but I love the taste of vanilla. So, and there are other floral oils there, but a lot of people like the taste of lavender. And what's weird is some people hate lavender tea, but then they'll love like a lavender scone. So you can try, when you're trying using an essential oil, try it in different things, because sometimes you'll be like me, where you don't like it in tea, but you like it in baked good, because that's life. And then with mints, you can put them in beverages. I know spearmint and peppermint can be really, really great in your water. One, they're great digestive support, but two, it also has invigorating or energizing effects. So you get like a double whammy of benefits. Desserts, we made I made black bean peppermint brownies for Jen and Lori to try, and then I'll take some over to Carrie because she could be here tonight, but she lives close. And then salads and certain meat dishes. So there's a very, very wide variety. And before we go into some general essential oil recipes, we are going to go through some holiday recipes. And given that this is a video, I'm not going to go as in depth in them because you can like pause it and screenshot it, keep it forever, and that's fine. But before we get into recipes, I just want to highlight, when it comes to using essential oils in tea, you don't want to put you don't want to put the oil in the microwave. So I normally make tea by heating my water up in the microwave. But what I like to do, and what I find is most beneficial, especially at keeping the oil from evaporating off, is to microwave the water in a separate glass Pyrex and get that hot. And while it's microwaving and heating it up, while it's heating in the microwave, I'll put however much honey I want in my tea, because honey is better for you than sugar. Just saying. And then I add the oils I want in the tea to that honey and mix it up, because the oils can bind very well with sugar molecules that are in the honey compound. And then I dump the hot water when it's done on top of it and stir it. Because when you just put essential oils directly on top, they're going to evaporate faster and more efficiently than when you trap them in with, say, a cream or a honey or milk. So that's just a good thing to think about. So some essential oil recipes. Again, we're not going to go super in depth in them because you can screenshot, you can pause and screenshot later. So these are some general recipes, and then we're going to get to some holiday recipes. These are just going to inspire some inspiration. So like with beverages, right? A great way is to, one, just drop some water, just drop some lemon in your water. You can even do it with carbonated water. Put some drops of citrus oil in there. Although I normally prefer to do it in a glass cup. You can put citrus oils, like we said, in tea, or you can do smoothies. I love to put my essential oils in smoothies. It really makes the day. And then there are marinades. And the great thing about marinades is there's so many different options. And if you want to have some good marinade recipes, there's the doTERRA website. If you're in our Facebook group, really if you're on our team, so if you're a wholesale customer under me or any of the people or under any of the people under me, then you're in our group. And you have access to any recipes that we post there. I love the Essential Foodie cookbook. You can get this on Oil Life. I know I don't have a discount code. Yeah, we're working on that. And this has great different marinade recipes. I think the meat marinades are top notch. They're great. My favorite one is actually cardamom chicken. So it sounds like it would be weird, but cardamom chicken actually, like cardamom chicken wings are amazing. They're delicious. And then when it comes to baked goods, I love baked goods. That's what we made tonight. And when it comes to baked goods, you're normally going to use more essential oil in the recipe, like I was saying, because one, it's a very big bowl. There's a lot of stuff that goes in it. And two, it goes through a heating process. When you're baking with essential oils, my best advice is to add it in the initial part when you're putting all the liquids in, especially with the butter. So if you have an olive oil, a canola oil, a butter, a shortener, whatever your fatty thing is that you're putting in the recipe, that's when you want to add the essential oils too, because one, it'll blend in that fatty substance really well, kind of stick with that fat because it's fat soluble. So I always like to add in it, right? It disperses well. If you made the whole thing and you put all the ingredients in and then you put 3 drops of lemon, well, normally you do 6 drops of lemon in one recipe because it's a citrus and it's not as strong as spices. It's not going to disperse as well. So I like to add it in the beginning with the fatty substance, with the liquids, and that normally does a good job. And you're normally going to have drops, not a toothpick method here, and typically stick with, mints, florals, spices, citruses. And when you're using spices, you're normally going to be from a 1 drop to a 3 drop range, depending on what your recipe is. And then soups, salads, dips, and sauces. These are great. So when it comes to all those things, you can do oil infusion. So if you're making a dip or a sauce, you actually can do where you oil infuse your olive oil. So if you're making a sauce or a dip that has olive oil in it, you always could just do the oil infusion with the olive oil first and then add that into the recipe. Just like with the other things, I like to add the essential oil first with the fattiest substance in the recipe with all the wet ingredients. When it comes to soups, typically I like to add essential oils either after it's cooled off a little bit and is more at the temperature that you're going to eat it at. If you want to add the essential oil in earlier, just like we said earlier in the class, you're going to add a lot more because it's going to evaporate off. Salsas are great. We normally stick with citruses that you pretty much can add in anytime because it's all liquid. And I love dips. I mean, guacamole is a great example of an amazing dip that uses the cilantro and lime essential oil. And then when it comes to salads, just like I said, salad dressings I actually love making salad dressings. This cookbook has an amazing pan Asian dressing in it. And those are really easy because it is so fatty, right? When we have the olive oil bases and stuff. And this is where you can add the essential oil in pretty much any time into your salad dressing. There we go. Words are important. Or you can do, like I said before, where you oil infuse the olive oil before adding it to your vinaigrette or to the salad dressing that you're making. Another thing to keep in mind too is that when you're seasoning, you can also do something called salt infusion or sugar infusion. And it's where you can mix essential oils in with like the Himalayan pink salt or rock salt. I like Himalayan pink salt. or sugar, because the essential oils, right, the fatty substances they are, will bind well with the salt or sugar. So you can have a seasoning salt or a flavored sugar to use in a recipe. So if you are having meat and you've done a barbecue and you're like, well, I want a little bit of seasoning, but I want to add it at the end and I want it to be in salt, then you can make yourself a seasoning salt blend, right? There's Mediterranean seasoning salt blends. There's Italian seasoning salt blends. There are a wide array of seasoning salt blends. There's some on the doTERRA website, and there's some in this book, and there will be some in our group. And I just got a text. If you want more in-depth information, you can, one, talk to me one-on-one. We will have more advanced cooking classes. The idea is that in the future, we could be able to do like an actual hands-on cooking class for the team. And then, hi, Lori. You're like at the end of class. I'm just going to finish. Yeah, it's okay. We're going to chill out and eat brownies and make stuff. It'll be fun. So if you want to know more, also it's on YouTube, it's recorded. So if you want to know more about what was in here and more in-depth information, you can look at the Essential Oil Cookbook or Cooking with Essential Oils on the doTERRA website, or we can meet one-on-one, or you can come to one of our more advanced cooking classes, because that is a very comprehensive look. So then I want to share with you guys some holiday items. I need to change what screen I am sharing with you. That's very important. So we're going to go to stop screen share. Hi. Then we're going to share a new screen. We're just going to do the entire screen. Okay, so here I'm going to share with you before I sign off. Oh, wait, let's check some comments. Okay, Ellen, you can see it. Great. And I am recording. This video is going to be available on YouTube for forever, unless I take it down. So thank you for letting me know that you can see it, Ellen. That makes my day. So these are the holiday treat recipes. There are more recipes coming if you're in our private Facebook group that's for our team. So this is a red velvet white chocolate chip cookie recipe. And like I said, I'm not going to go into as much depth because you can pause this, take a screenshot. But this recipe uses, you can use the Madagascar vanilla, and it also uses cardamom essential oil. These are a very good cookie. Although my favorite is the gingerbread. And then mini pumpkin pies. You also can make a big pumpkin pie, but if you're having a bunch of people over, the mini pumpkin pies are nice. They're easy to do. And this uses, like I was saying, clove, ginger, cassia, or cinnamon bark. Very common with pumpkins. So this is delicious. Pumpkin pie with essential oil is better than any pumpkin pie I've tasted. I was also the one who cooked it, so I'm a little biased, but you know. And then we have chocolate avocado mousse. I actually haven't tried this one yet. So if somebody makes this, please post on the comments if you liked it. This is gluten-free, it's dairy-free, and it's supposed to be where you can't even tell, like you wouldn't be the wiser. And this uses peppermint essential oil. And peppermint essential oil is a very powerful digestive support essential oil. So not only are you getting amazing benefits of avocado, but you're getting digestive benefits, which when you're at the holidays and you're eating super rich food, it's nice to have a little digestive support. And then we have our gingerbread cookies. And so these are the very complicated gingerbread cookies that are gluten-free and sugar-free and vegan, and right where it uses the tapioca flour. And there is this recipe if you want to use it. I'm going to scroll down where you can just screenshot the whole thing if you're watching this on YouTube. I have not made this yet because this is very extra to me. But if somebody makes it and they like it, please let us know in the comments. If you make it and it was the worst thing that you ever did because it was so complicated, drop that in the comments too. I like to use the simpler recipe. So, and then here's the hot cocoa recipe. You don't have to make it the way it is, right? This is a recipe where basically make hot cocoa however you want to make it, and then you can add in peppermint or cinnamon bark or wild orange, right? The recommended oils. You don't have to follow the specific hot cocoa recipe. I made a gingerbread recipe that is easier. So this is the easy version that basically follows a Betty Crocker recipe and then substitutes the ginger and the clove and the cinnamon with the essential oil version. And I made that here tonight for people to try, which Lori and Jen are going to eat. Normally people sit on the couch, but we're doing something different. People were late. It's fine. We roll with the punches. That's why we record these things. And what I like to do, if you do have gluten allergies like I do, I just like to replace the flour with a gluten-free flour that is a cup for cup. And my preferred brand, and I've tried them all. I haven't been able to have gluten since I was 13, and I have tried them all. My favorite brand is the Crustia's brand. It's spelled there because I don't know if I pronounce it right. So I'm going to give you the whole recipe here. That's the whole recipe, so you can take a screenshot with the instructions. I made tonight's with the ground nutmeg instead of the 2 toothpicks of cardamom. You can try each way and tell me which one you like. And then the last one, holiday one, that's in this little ebook. So if you're on our team, I'm going to post this holiday ebook to the Facebook group and the custom recipes I made in addition to these to the Facebook group. So you will have these. So if you don't want to screenshot these, you also can download them later on Facebook. But if you're not on our team, too bad. We give a lot of support to our team on Facebook. We do a lot more than we do just in class. And we also can be non-compliant and say all the things. So these are the cranberry mocktails. You should have had enough time to take a screenshot. And then the last thing, I love black bean brownies. They are great. They offer digestive support. And I like to put peppermint in mine, which gives even additional digestive support. So this allows one, to get a little, you get some help in your digestion while you're eating all this rich holiday food that might be backing you up. So that is awesome. So those are some of the recipes. If you want more holiday recipes, check out the Facebook group. More are coming. Let me go back to not sharing my screen. So more recipes are coming in the Facebook group. I'm going to be posting some recipes from this cookbook, as well as some of my own that I have come up with over the years. And then Ellen asked, what is the difference in cinnamon oils? So I don't know if you're referring to the On Guard. So doTERRA sells one cinnamon oil. We're done. So I'm going to ask questions. So we are done with recipes. So now I'm going to ask questions if anybody has them. And then if people are here in person, we're going to give out little sample vials that have all of the top 4. We're going to do sample vials of the top 4 essential oils that you use for cooking and eat some of the delicious things that I made. And since we have a smaller group here, if we want to make anything tonight, we're going to make something tonight. So we do really fun things in person. I was going to do bingo too, but that didn't work out, so it's fine. The difference between cinnamon oils, now that we're in question land. So there is cinnamon bark essential oil and there is cassia essential oil. doTERRA doesn't sell a different kind of cinnamon oil. In the On Guard blend, they have cinnamon bark essential oil and I believe cinnamon leaf essential oil. Cassia versus cinnamon bark. Okay, so they're a completely different plant. So they're in the same species, right? They're in the same species, but I shouldn't say same species. They're in the same family. There we go. They're in the same family. They're similar, but they are not the same plant. So cassia and cinnamon are different plants. And so the cinnamon bark is actually distilled from cinnamon and cassia is distilled from cassia. And a lot of people think cassia smells like cinnamon because what the grocery store sells, most of the time the cinnamon sticks that grocery stores are selling aren't actually cinnamon sticks, they're cassia sticks. So a lot of times people think cassia is cinnamon when they first smell the essential oil, but it is not. They also have different benefits. So cinnamon bark has better benefits for the immune system, for inflammation support, for killing all of the yucky things in the environment, if we want to say it compliantly. But that's why it's in the On Guard blend. It does offer digestive support. It does help specifically if you're constipated. But cassia is a much stronger essential oil for constipation. If you can't go to the bathroom, 2 drops of Cassia straight. Like if you take 2 drops of Cassia in a shot glass, you'll normally be able to go. It is not like Miralax. It's like the most gentle stool softener out there. This might be TMI, but we share. I like to share and be honest. So Cassia, it does have digestive support. It helps with the mechanics of digestion. So if there's stuff that's stuck in there, it gets it out, and it does it much more efficiently than cinnamon, but it doesn't have the same immune system supporting properties that cinnamon bark has. So if you're trying to pick between whether you use Cassia or cinnamon bark in a recipe, I normally always go towards cinnamon because it has better properties for the immune system and the inflammation process in our body. If I want to use Cassia, I normally only use Cassia if I want the smell of it, right, in Infusion. I don't use Cassia a lot when I'm cooking because cinnamon just offers better benefits, unless you have somebody in your family that is constipated a lot. Then you're probably going to want to use Cassia in your recipes, or do the Cassia shot glass or a pill with Cassia in it. So I hope, did that answer the question, or do you want some more nitty gritty like chemical profiles of the oils? Is that good? Good. Okay. I'm not seeing a comment. So I think that's good. If you want more chemistry stuff, because Ellen, you're in our group, if you want more chemistry stuff, text me, because I can be much more non-compliant and use all the medical jargon and illness terms in our Facebook group. So, I did answer your question, great. But if you want to know more, just text me, and in our Facebook group, and you've inspired me. In our Facebook group later this week, at some point this week, I'll kind of do one day on Cassia and one day on cinnamon bark, and bring in some of the doTERRA chemistry ebook into that. So, I hope everybody enjoyed this live. Lori and Jen are going to watch it. Later, we're going to talk about it one-on-one because they arrived late, but it's fine. We rolled with the punches. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. And if you are watching the recording, which will be available, I hope you had fun with it. And let me know how your recipes go, right? Like comment either in our Facebook group. If you're in our Facebook group, put it in the Facebook group. And then if you're not, you can put it on YouTube. So, but I'm excited to see what you guys do and what you use during the holiday season. And if anybody notices, because normally I bake with essential oils, and my brother is not a big fan of essential oils, but I'll bake something like cheesecake or cookies, and he'll eat them and he'll love it. And then it's like, well, apparently you love essential oils. So it's kind of cool. It's interesting to see people's reactions to how good food can be, and to know that it's also helping them. So that's kind of fun. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great night. Love y'all. Bye.